So, you want to quit your 9 to 5? Great, you're in the right place. I did it and my sister Marina did it too. How? We started a blog. But 90% of blogs fall in the first year. Will you make it? Yes, you will, because today I'll show you how to start a blog. Not a simple blog, a blog that makes money. Why I'm so sure that you will make it? Because I'm a 6-figure blogger, 5 years in the blogging industry, and what you will learn today is what works. This is how to start the blog step by step for beginners, but even if you have already launched your blog, you could have missed some of this, so stay tuned. If you're eager to start a blog that can transform your life, just like it did for me and Marina, you've got 2 paths to choose from. First option, you can dive in, try, possibly stumble, but keep trying until you hit success. The second option is to learn from someone who's been there, done that. Someone like me, who's made all the mistakes in the blogging book, but emerged stronger, now running a blog that pulls in multiple 6 figures. And you will see later in the video that I made the biggest mistake that the blogger can make. Get a coffee and take a notebook, because today I will go through all the steps you need to take to start a successful blog. Now, listen, this video took me a lot of effort to make, and I really want you to take action. So after every step, I'll guide you on what you should do right away. If you are here, congratulations, you took the first step to a new life. But please, at the end of this video, don't just turn it off and forget all about it. Take action. Okay, take a breath. You don't have to tackle everything today. Feel free to rewatch this video as many times as you need. I ordered the step in a kind of logical way, but these don't necessarily need to be followed in this exact sequence. What matters most is that you start. Again, I put a lot of effort to create this content, and my sincere wish is for you to take action. Any action. If the urge to write strikes, even if you haven't settled on a blog name yet, go for it. Begin wherever you feel compelled, just make that start. And if you want to delve further, I have an individual video for each and every step. I will link to each individual video in the description box down below if you want to dig deeper. Actually, let me know in the comments which step you're planning to take first. Public commitment can be a powerful motivator. And hey, no excuses about blogging is passé, blaming ChatGPT, or insisting Google is too tricky. Absolutely not. There are millions of thriving blogs out there, and after today, there will be one more successful blog in the mix, your blog. And stay tuned, because I've got a couple of gifts lined up for you today. Let's go. The first step to take to start your blog is to understand that blogging is not hard, but it's not super quick. Blog is not an overnight success. It takes time. It's a bit like nurturing a plant. It takes time for it to grow, develop deep roots, and bloom. Blogging is not one of those false promises of changing your life by making quick money online. They don't exist. Blogging is not a side hustle. You can start it as a little business on the side of your 9 to 5, but if you really believe in it, it will grow. It will bloom into your primary income, and it will actually change your life. Side hustles don't change life. I'm not saying you need to put in lots of hard work. Actually, I'm against the hustle mentality, but you need to believe in it and take care of it as if it is the most precious plant you've ever owned. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'll tell you what you need to do right now. Make a plan. Write down what time of the day, week, month you will dedicate to your blog, to building your new life. You don't need to use all your spare time on your blog. I didn't, but you need a plan. As they say, failing to plan is planning to fail. The second step to start your blog today is to learn from Tubetorial. I know, you probably have never heard about it, but what if I tell you Copy Blogger, Brian Clark, the founder of Copy Blogger, initially had an unsuccessful blog called Tubetorial. However, he didn't give up. He learned from his experience and went on to create Copy Blogger, which became a huge success in the field of online marketing. So what you need to do right now, get ready. You will make mistakes, you will feel discouraged, you will feel overwhelmed, but right now, if you really want to change your life, make a promise to yourself you won't quit. The next step is to identify your unique advantage. This is that special something, whether big or small, that you possess but others can't easily replicate. I've leveraged this multiple times in growing my blogs. If you can pinpoint and utilize your advantage from the start, it can propel your blog to significant success. Let me break it down for you. The very first blog I launched, and is still going strong, was all about relationship advice. Why? Because giving relationship advice was my thing. Growing up, everyone turned to me for insights in that department. So when I decided to start a blog, I asked myself what I was genuinely good at, and boom, a blog about relationships was born. It worked out well and is still thriving. You see, I tapped into my unfair advantage, something not everyone could easily replicate. When I kicked off blogging for new bloggers, I had another unfair advantage. Having made money quickly with my first blog, people were curious about my success and wanted to learn the ropes. But the prime example of leveraging my unfair advantage happened when the GDPR was all the rage. Bloggers and even non-bloggers were in a frenzy. Without a legal background, it was a tough puzzle for many to decipher. Even if they hired a regular lawyer, blogging intricacies were often lost on them. But that was my golden ticket. Surprise, surprise! I hold a PhD in International and European Union law. I'm a lawyer and I'm a blogger. So I embarked on my journey into blogging legally. Now, I'm not suggesting you need a PhD to be a blogger, but finding your unfair advantage is key to aiming for success. These advantages can stem from your personality, experiences, knowledge, credentials, and more. The catch is, it has to be something not easily replicated by others. Maybe you live in a city everyone dreams of visiting. Perhaps you're an expat with insights for others making a similar move. Or you've mastered a language all on your own. It could really be anything. For example, Ali Abdal started as a medical student and later a doctor in the UK. His unfair advantage is his unique position at the intersection of medicine and content creation. Ali started out by creating YouTube videos to help medical students study more effectively. He didn't just focus on the academic side, but also shared personal productivity tips, life as a medical student, and later insights into his life as a doctor. Pat Flynn's journey started when he got laid off from his job as an architect during the 2008 recession. His initial success online came from selling a study guide he created for an architecture exam. So, what do you need to do now? You guessed, look for your unfair advantage. What is it? Write it down. You could have more than one. Before I move on to the next step, if you want to learn more about how to start a blog and make money blogging, then make sure you click the link in my description box because I have a free guide that will dive deeper into how to create your own blog and get you started. This guide will walk you through the blueprint I used to start my blog that turned it into a multiple six-figure business, and comes with in-depth strategies, assignments, and tons of actionable tips so you don't want to miss out. Get it for free at the link in the description box down below. Moving on to the next step, figure out what kind of blog you want. It's a bit like choosing your niche, but with a unique twist. Let's dive into why. Before you even ponder your niche, it's essential to grasp what you want from your blog. Are you aiming for financial success? Do you want a more relaxed lifestyle? Are you looking to attract clients for your business? Is your goal to say goodbye to your 9-to-5? Or maybe you want to spend more quality time with your family. There are countless reasons and you need to pinpoint yours before delving into niche selection. Your desired end result will play a vital role in determining your niche. If your goal is to make a substantial income, a blog heavily focused on high-end affiliate marketing might be the route for you. For a more laid-back lifestyle, consider blogging about what you genuinely love. Want to use your blog to attract clients? Then blog about what you do. The list goes on. Don't get me wrong, certain aspects can and should coexist to create a successful blog. However, you need to start by understanding how your blog can serve you, because if your energy is not in alignment, it won't work. Following that, figure out how you can best serve your audience. The next step when it comes to starting a blog the right way is to pick your niche. Start by jotting down your interests, skills, and passions. Remember, blogging isn't just about making money, it's about creating content you're passionate about while also considering its potential to attract traffic and be monetized. Look for a balance between your interest and what your audience is willing to spend money on. Identify a problem people are facing that aligns with your knowledge and find a solution they're willing to pay for. Next, conduct Market research to find a niche that's popular yet not oversaturated. Utilize tools like Google Trends and keyword search tools to gauge interest and competition levels. I will link to some free or affordable tools in the description box down below, where you will also find a video all about how to pick the perfect niche for your blog. Explore social media, join relevant online communities, and observe the discussions to validate demand and gather content ideas. Understanding the profitability of your niche is also essential. So research affiliate networks and ad networks to see if there are monetization opportunities. You can also check websites selling blogs to understand the financial potential of niches. Narrow down your broad niche to something more specific and find your unique angle by combining different interest, skills, and your unfair advantage. Maybe you're into both fashion and sustainability. Why not start a blog about eco-friendly fashion? Or maybe you're a tech geek who loves cooking. How about a blog that reviews smart kitchen gadgets? Combining interests can result in a niche that's not just unique but also authentic. In my case, I'm a blogger, but I'm also a lawyer, so part of my content is about blogging legally. And don't be afraid to narrow your niche down. As they say, the riches are in the niches. The more specific your topic is, the more targeted and engaged your audience will be. And the easier it will be for search engines like Google or social networks like Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube to understand what your blog is about and show it to the right audience. At the same time though, you don't want to narrow it down too much, or else you won't be able to target enough readers. You may run out of ideas on what to write about, or you won't have much room to go if you want to expand your content to other related topics. By the way, if you're enjoying the tips so far, hit the subscribe button to get more tips on how to grow your blog and make money blogging. Subscribe is free. Back to the next step, choose your blog's name. It's an exciting task, but you'll need to roll up your sleeves and do some research. Let me share a story about my first blog, the one about relationships I mentioned earlier. I named it Tiny Love Bag after my dog Tiny, with a romantic touch. I did a thorough legal check, yes, lawyer here, to ensure I wasn't infringing on any copyrights. I verified that the domain name was available, and I even made sure all the social media handles were up for grabs. Feeling proud, I launched my blog. However, when I Googled it, disaster struck. It was buried on Google's page 14, lost among baby websites, Etsy shop, and even a German blog with the same name. Being Italian, little did I know that in English, tiny love bag is a cute term some parents use for their babies. Thanks to SEO strategies, my old blog now tops the Google search results for tiny love bag. However, its name might still sound misleading to some people. Moral of the story, run thorough searches, including checking for different meanings your blog name might have. My suggestion is to choose a name related to your niche, but one that allows room for expansion. So stay on topic. If your blog is about healthy eating, a name like Healthy Hits instantly conveys your focus, but avoid being overly specific to allow room for growth and diversification. Also, incorporating relevant keywords into your blog name can boost your search engine visibility. For example, tasty kitchen recipes signals to search engines and readers alike that your blog is about recipes. But be aware of exact match domain names. They require high quality content to avoid penalties from search engines. You will also want to tailor your blog name to resonate with your target audience. For example, a professional audience might prefer a straightforward name, while a younger crowd might appreciate something fun and creative. It's about speaking their language and making them feel at home. Play with words, use a thesaurus, and consider rhymes or alliterations. But keep in mind that simplicity is key. A simple, memorable name is ideal. It should be easy to spell, pronounce, and remember. Avoid complicated or lengthy names and consider the longevity and relevance of your chosen name. Avoid using numbers, symbols, acronyms, hyphens, made-up words, hard to pronounce terms, or words with double letters, as this can lead to typos and confusions. Next tip, check the legalities. Make sure your blog name doesn't infringe on existing trademarks. You can start by searching trademark database both at the national and international levels. In the United States, you can use the United States Patent and Trademark Office's USPTO online database. In other countries, there are similar databases, similar resources you can use. This will help you determine if anyone has already registered the name as a trademark in your jurisdiction. If you find a registered trademark with a name similar to your chosen blog name, just steer clear. Align your domain name with your blog for brand consistency. You should have your own domain like yourblogname.com. This is way more professional than using a subdomain on one of those free platforms domains like yourblognames.blogspot.com or yourblogName.wordpress.com. Also, aim for a com extension and check availability. You can use domain register like GoDaddy, Namecheap, or Google Domains to search for domain availability. They have search tools where you can enter your desired domain name and they'll tell you if it's available. Consider using services like Bluehost for domain registration and hosting, often offering a free domain. Before settling with the name, check the availability of your chosen name and domain as social media handles. It's essential to maintain consistency across all platforms. What to do right now? Your blog name is a significant part of your brand identity. Take your time, consider these tips, and jot down a list of potential names. For more detailed strategies and tips, I have another video that breaks down how to choose your blog name that I'll link in the description box down below. Now, let's dive into the next crucial step, one that I've failed. Remember when I mentioned making the worst mistake as a new blogger? Well, I didn't start with self-hosted WordPress. Instead, I opted for Squarespace, which is also quite expensive. While Squarespace is not a bad platform, it's not self-hosted WordPress. Here is the key insight. Every successful blog has one thing in common. They all self-hosted WordPress. You might be tempted to try other platforms, but they come with limitations. Limited customizations, basic themes, and a lack of custom plugins can hinder your blog's potential. Monetization options are also restricted. With free platforms, you don't really own your blog. Yes, you have the copyright to your content, but you don't own your website. On the flip side, going self-hosted gives you more control, customization, and opportunities to optimize your website for success, be it in organic traffic, monetization, affiliate marketing, brand deals, and more. It's much better to start with a self-hosted WordPress site right away to avoid the hassle of migrating later, which can lead to lost traffic, comments, shares, rankings, domain authority, and having to remake your whole website again. So, as tempting as it can be to start on a free platform or a done-for-you platform, please stay clear of WordPress.com, Blogger, Wix, Squarespace, and anything that is not self-hosted WordPress. This is not negotiable. It doesn't need to be expensive, and in the next step, I'll give you some tips to pick a very affordable host. But before we move on to the next step, I want to clarify a couple of things that often cause confusion, especially for new bloggers. First, the difference between self-hosted WordPress and WordPress.com. While WordPress.org is what you want to use in combination with your web host to go self-hosted, WordPress.com is a blogging platform where you can host your blog for free, but comes with several limitations. While these plans do allow some level of monetization, they come at a high cost and still come with limitations that might not align with your full monetization goals. Besides the fact that you can't fully monetize your blog on WordPress.com, you also can't install plugins or use Google Analytics unless you own the business plan, which costs a whopping $299 a year. And honestly, that's pretty steep and not usually worth it for most bloggers. So make sure you own self-hosted WordPress and don't pay for WordPress.com. The second point to clarify for new bloggers is that purchasing your own domain is not the same as being self-hosted. Let me explain. Blogs on WordPress.com will initially have web addresses like yourblog.wordpress.com. If you decide to buy a custom domain such as yourblog.com while staying on WordPress.com, it's essential to understand that this doesn't equate to being self-hosted. In this case, you've merely acquired a custom domain, but all the limitations mentioned earlier in terms of customization and monetization will still be in effect. Back to the next step, choose the right host for you. Picture this, you've heard some web hosts are fantastic while others not so much. However, they come at different price points. So the question isn't which is the best host overall, but which is the best host for you. Currently, I'm on the GoGeek plan with SiteGround, fantastic service with features that I find useful at this stage in my blogging journey. But here's the catch. The Go Geek plan offers advanced features that most new bloggers don't need, and it comes at a higher price point. I recently shelled out over $1,400 on renewal fees. Please avoid spending money you don't need to spend yet. You'll need it for more important things, as you will see later. Right now, what you need is to go self-hosted. That's why I recommend Bluehost for those new to blogging. It provides essential features to get started, is budget-friendly and user-friendly. As you grow and your needs evolve, you can always upgrade or switch to a hosting service with more advanced features. Changing your web host is way easier than changing your blogging platform altogether. If you start on a free platform and later decide to move to a self-hosted WordPress site, the migration process can be complicated. You'll have to deal with exporting and importing your content, and there is a good chance you'll face formatting issues, broken links, and even potential SEO setbacks. What to do right now? Go to the description box, click on the link for Bluehost and start your blog. It'll kick off with self-hosted WordPress with just a click. If you want to know more about the pros and cons of using Bluehost, check out another video linked in the description box down below. The next step to starting a blog is to customize your website and make it yours. Firstly, you need to choose your theme. Imagine your blog as a house and think of the theme as both the architect and the interior designer and decorator. Thoughtfully designed themes contribute to a positive user experience, making your blog enjoyable and easy to navigate. And of course, the overall user experience is the ultimate goal. It's about creating an online space that, much like a well-decorated home, is inviting, comfortable, and memorable for your visitors. But how to choose your theme? First of all, consider the main purpose of your blog. Is it a personal blog, a professional portfolio, a business blog, or a blog for an e-commerce site? Different themes are designed for different purposes, so knowing your blog's focus will help narrow down your options. Then you need to think about the type of content you will be publishing. If your blog focuses on images, choose a theme that emphasizes visual elements. If your content is text-heavy, prioritize readability and a clean layout. Also, look for a theme that offers a good balance between customization options and ease of use. A flexible theme allows you to personalize your blog to match your brand or personal style. Now, for the more practical stuff, you will need to check. Number one, make sure that the theme is mobile responsive. A huge chunk of users will access your website on their phones and mobile devices. It's crucial that your blog looks good and work well on smartphones and tablets. This is also important for SEO. If your website is not mobile responsive, it won't rank on Google. 2, loading speed. A slow loading website can negatively impact user experience and SEO. Choose a theme that is optimized for speed. Many themes come with performance features, and you can further optimize your site with caching plugins and image optimization tools. 3, browser compatibility. Make sure that the theme is compatible with several web browsers. Your audience may be using different browsers, so it's important that your blog looks and works consistently across all of them. 4, consider SEO. A theme that is built with SEO in mind can give your blog a head start in search engine rankings. Look for themes that are coded cleanly and follow best practice for SEO. Choose a theme from a reputable developer or theme marketplace that provides regular updates and good support. This is important for security reasons and to ensure compatibility with future versions of your blogging platform. If you're on a tight budget, there are many excellent free themes available. However, if you have the means, investing in a premium theme can provide additional features, support, and unique design. I always invest in a premium theme for all my websites. My favorite themes are Blue Chic, but I will link to a few great options for different tastes in the description box below. The next step you need to take is to make your blog welcoming for everyone. Make sure it's ADA compliant. This means following rules so that people with disabilities can easily use your site. If you want your blog to be for everyone, ADA compliance is important. Even though not all businesses have to follow ADA rules, it's a good idea because it helps everyone. It makes your site easy to use, reaches more people, and helps with SEO. Being ADA compliant shows you care about all your users no matter their abilities. Making your blog ADA compliant opens it up to more people. About 15% of people have a disability, and over 50 million in the US need ADA compliant website. So if your blog isn't ADA compliant, millions of people can use it. Many blogs forget about this, so making yours ADA compliant can be more inclusive and have a greater reach that others miss. But there is more. Making your blog ADA compliant also helps people without disabilities. Think about busy moms, works on breaks, people on public transport. Your captions let them watch videos quietly and learn something new while doing other things. Besides, a lot of people watch videos on their phones without the sound on. ADA compliance also includes things like alt text for images, video transcript, and audio accessibility. Doing these things not only helps people with disabilities, but also make your site better for search engines. It's a win-win for your visitors and your website's performance. In short, making your blog ADA compliant makes it easy for everyone to use, bring in more readers, and improve how your site shows up on search engines. If you need help making your blog ADA compliant, you can check out my ADA compliant checklist and accessibility statement template specifically designed for bloggers. The next step to starting your blog is to set up some key pages. Let's explore the types of pages you should include on your blog, aside from the legal ones that I will discuss later. The first and most important one is the home page. Creating an engaging homepage for your blog is crucial, as it's often the first impressions visitors have of your site. Your homepage should include a catchy headline that clearly communicates your blog's purpose or unique value proposition, briefly outlining who you are and what readers can expect from your blog. Use a conversational tone to make it relatable and engaging. Incorporate visually appealing images or graphics that resonate with your blog's theme. Include clear, easy to navigate sections or link to your most popular recent posts, encouraging visitors to explore further. And don't forget a call to action, inviting readers to subscribe to your newsletters, get your freebie, or check out your products or services. The next page you must have on your blog is an About Me page. Here you spill the beans about yourself, share your story, why your blog exists, and most importantly, tell them how you can help your readers, what's in it for them. Give them the transformation and tell them how you will help them reach that point. Toss in some personal or professional tidbits to connect with your audience. The next page is a contact page to make it easy for people to reach you. This page is useful both to connect with your readers, but also for collaborations with brands and other bloggers. Drop their email, social media handles, and a contact form. And hey, if you're not glued to your inbox 24/7, give them a heads up on when you usually respond. Next, help your readers navigate through your content through a categories or topics page. Group your posts into neat categories or topics so that they can find what they're looking for without going on a treasure hunt. Don't forget to keep it simple. A clear menu is like a roadmap for your blog. Link to the important stuff so your readers can easily explore. Another good one to have is a resource or tools page. Throw in your favorite tools, books, or resources related to your blog's topic. A frequently asked questions page is a time saver for you and your readers, so answer the question they're likely to have. But while you're writing your pages, please think SEO. You need to SEO your whole blog, not only your blog post. And we will come back to this because it's really, really, really important. The next step when it comes to starting a blog is to plan how to bring people to your blog. Yeah, if you want to make money with your blog, you need page views. You need people to come to your blog, and the best way to reach your goal is to make your blog optimized for search engines, SEO. I told you I would come back to it because SEO is so important. Firstly, once you have done the work, it will be completely passive. Your blog is there for everyone interested in it to be found. With social media or other ways to bring people to your blog, you need to actively work for it. Plus, if someone lands on your blog from a search engine, you can be sure they are interested in it. They search for it. They definitely want it. Okay, let me explain it this way. Think of your blog as a cozy bookstore in a bustling city. Now, imagine SEO as the magical signage that directs avid readers straight to your door. What social media is like handing out flyers on a busy street corner. With SEO, it's like having a well-crafted map that guides people who are actively searching for that kind of books you offer. They come in knowing exactly what they want and are more likely to stick around because they found the place that meets their specific interest. On the other hand, social media is more like engaging with people on the street, hoping they'll notice your flyer and decide to drop by. SEO brings in visitors who are already interested in the topics you cover, like readers actively seeking out a particular genre of books. It's like having a beacon that attracts those genuinely interested in what your blog has to offer, resulting in a more engaged and invested audience. Can you see how important optimizing your entire website for search engines is? If I didn't learn SEO, probably my first blog would still be buried on the 14th page of Google results. So invest in a good SEO course. Yes, I'm telling you, invest the money that you haven't made yet. SEO is too important to leave it for later or to try to learn it through free advice. You can have the best blog ever, but if nobody sees it, nobody sees it. Check out the link in the description box below to see which SEO course I totally recommend. The next step to take before launching your blog is to comply with legal requirements. As in everything in life, you need to follow the law. As a blogger, you need to comply with several laws and regulations that oversee online activities. By ensuring compliance, you avoid legal trouble and protect yourself from potential fines, lawsuits, and headaches. You must have 4 legal pages on your blog to blog legally and protect yourself legally. Privacy policy, terms and conditions, disclosure, and disclaimers. So you will need to invest a bit of money now to potentially save a lot of money later. It only takes one unhappy user to get you in trouble. Imagine getting hit with a fine for a few $1,000s when you're just starting out. That could seriously set you back and even force you to shut down your blog. But it's not only that. Having your legals in order can actually make you money. So besides the peace of mind of being legally protected, having all your legal ducks in a row makes you look legit and trustworthy in the eyes of clients, potential affiliates, and partners. By complying with legal requirements, you're paving the way for additional revenue streams. Many monetization opportunities such as affiliate marketing, sponsored content, and advertising networks require compliance with specific legal requirements as a prerequisite for joining. Without the necessary legal pages and disclosure, you may be ineligible to participate in such programs, limiting your revenue potential. For example, one of the top reasons new bloggers get rejected when they apply for Google AdSense is because they don't have a privacy policy on their website. And the same goes for other ad networks. Don't let that happen to you. Plus, you need to think and protect your hard work. You really want to make it hard for others to steal your work. Download my free copyright template from the link in the description box. You can use this copyright notice time and time again for anything you create, your blog, your freebies, your digital products, courses, ebooks, printables, and more. Click the link in the description box down below to get your copy for free today. So what to do right now? Protect your blog legally. Now, not tomorrow. Tomorrow could be too late. You need to do it now. Check out my best-selling legal bundle value pack at the link in the description box below. It comes with everything you need to protect your blog legally. The next step is planning out to connect with your audience on a more personal level. Building a relationship with your audience is key. I understand you might not have an audience yet, but now is the perfect time to start building it. You can start building it on social media, but the best way is by starting an email list. Don't procrastinate on this. It's one of the most vital things for the growth of your blog and, well, your bank account. Joke aside, you've probably heard the saying, the money is in the list. It's absolutely true. A big chunk of my income comes from my newsletters. People are more likely to buy through your emails because once they're on your newsletters, they get to know you, trust you, and are genuinely interested in hearing from you, learning from you, and following your suggestions. Additionally, you're actively listening to their feedback and fostering two-way communication. As your relationship with your readers strengthens, so does their trust in you and your brand. This trust in turn increases the likelihood of them making purchases from you or recommending your products, services to others. But since the goal is to build a meaningful relationship with your subscribers, you don't want just anyone on your list. Focus on people who can genuinely benefit from your expertise. So resist the temptation to include family and friends just to boost your numbers. If you're offering freebie to encourage subscriptions, make sure it's closely aligned with your blog's content and provides value to those genuinely interested in your niche. Remember, you're aiming for raving fans, not just numbers. What to do right now? Sign up for a free plan on ConvertKit or MailerLite. I'll leave both links in the description box down below. At this stage, both options work well and you don't need to spend money. If you have the time, create a freebie. If not, don't stress about it for now. But it's crucial to integrate an opt-in form on every page of your blog to start collecting those email addresses. Your subscribers are the best audience to serve. The next step in creating your blog is to start writing. Yay! Finally, the fun bit. But wait, don't write anything that comes to mind. Have a strategy. Start by thinking about why you started your blog. Maybe to share something cool or help others. Oh, please, don't worry if your writing isn't perfect at first. You'll get better with practice. Right now, focus on creating content that helps your readers and solves their problems. Write posts that connect with your audience, addressing what matters to them. If you provide value, they'll keep coming back for more. But here is the key. Be consistent and have a plan. Don't just write randomly. Be strategic. Make a list of blog posts that fit together. Your aim is to grab your readers' attention from the start and keep them interested. For example, if your blog is about fitness, don't jump from losing weight to gaining muscle in one go. Readers looking to shed pounds might not be interested in building muscle right away. Start with the main post like how to lose weight and follow up with related ones like 5 exercises to lose belly fat or best apps to track your macros and lose weight. This way, they'll naturally go from one post to the next. Mix up your blog content. Imagine it like a recipe with different ingredients. Add posts that share useful information. They bring in more readers. Posts about great products, they can help you earn money, and posts that include statistics or infographics, they get other bloggers to notice you and give you backlinks. Write a mix of this because you'll need them all on your blogging journey. What to do right now? Make a content calendar. Brainstorm 10 blog post topics that can interlink between them and write a mix of different kinds of blog posts. Moving on to the next step, start creating your monetization channels. You will hear people saying, do not try to monetize your blog from the start. I think this is one of the worst blogging advice I've ever heard. I made money in my first month of blogging. Do you know why? Because I had affiliate links on my blog. If they weren't there, I couldn't have earned a cent. I tell you what to do. You start planning for monetization right now. And that's why. Firstly, if you're prepared, anything can happen. If you're not, you can be sure you won't make any money. It's akin to expecting to win the lottery without buying a ticket. Secondly, by initiating some form of monetization from the beginning, your audience will become accustomed to it. They won't be taken by surprise when they encounter ads, affiliate links, or offers for products, services in the future. Thirdly, and maybe most importantly, when you share your best tools, books, courses, services, and more, you're genuinely helping your readers. You can't imagine how many times I read something, even a recipe. Actually, let's use a recipe as an example. So, I'm following a recipe and the instruction includes some exotic ingredients I've never seen before. I want them, I need them for the recipe, but I have no clue where to find them. So, I look for a link in the blog post or in the recipe card. If the link's there, you're helping me. If it's not there, you're making my life more challenging. Now, I will have to Google this obscure ingredient and I'll probably get lost in Google rabbit hole and I might not return to your blog. And even if I don't get distracted or lost, I might still not come back to your blog because I'm afraid I'll encounter more unfamiliar ingredients without guidance. You get the point. If you want to be genuinely helpful, please assist. Don't make my life harder. What to do right now? Watch this video next to learn how bloggers actually make money. Choose what works best for you and start right now. Thanks for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao e a presto!